יש מרבו מורך ומועד ברך וישתבח ויתואר ותרומו ויתנשא ויתהדור ותשוב וכל בחטא שחטא שבחטא ונמזדה מרח וברומין ועל ישראל ועל רבנה ועל תלמידיכם ועל תלמידי תלמידיכם דעסקים בראיתו פנשתו דבדרחדן ודי בכל האתר ואתר החילנו וחום חנך ושדו ורחם ושור המרש וברומין יש לומר רבו משמונה חיים וצועה ושועה ונחמה שזו ועש ועברו רווח וחצר לנו חולמו שלו וברומין עושה שלום ברמו חוב ורחמו ויעשה שלום עלינו וחולמו שלו וברומין
Good evening, Rabbi. Chazal said in the Talmud that 30 days before the Chag Pesach, Chag Shavuot, and Chag Sukkot, we have to start darshaning and learning about the halachot and asking questions about the halachot, the Pesach. So now it's time to get started with that. We started yesterday actually on Shabbat talking about this, but it wasn't recorded, so we're going to just review quickly what we said yesterday. Something important we said, which was that what's the reason why we have to eat matzot on Pesach and not eat chametz? We discussed this a little bit yesterday. So we said the reason is because, not only because of what it says in the Chumash. In the Chumash it says, right, because they didn't have time for the bread to leaven. They had to leave very quickly because HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave them Geulah. So they had to leave. They had no time to be mitakev. Paro said to them, please just leave, get out, just take whatever you want, get out of here. Don't stay here, please. Do us a favor, right? We don't need you here. You're good. You're free. You're emancipated. Go where you want to go. That's it. So what happened was they had to go very fast. So there was no time. So it says the Chumash, this is the reason why we eat matzot on Pesach, to commemorate this event that occurred in Yetziat Mitzrayim. But the truth is that there's something much deeper than that, that we have to discuss about what this entails. Because the truth is, what kind of thing is this, right? Okay, so 3,000 years ago, right, our forefathers had the issues with matzot, and they had to leave early, and they had to leave fast. What does it have to do with us today? Why do we have to commemorate all this? What's the reason why? What do we learn from that? What's there to learn from this kind of thing? What's the lesson? So the truth is, that we mentioned yesterday that the whole point is something much deeper. As we find in the Chumash, in several places, that the Avot, Avraham Avinu, and the other Avot as well, they observed Pesach even in their time, and this was before Yetziat Mitzrayim. So the question is, what are you observing Pesach for? Mitzrayim didn't occur yet. Didn't occur yet. So why commemorate this? Where do we see that, by the way? We see that in the Chumash, the story of Lot. So what do we see over there? That he invited the angels to come and eat by him. That night that they came over to his house in Sodom. So what happened was that the Chazal say, what did he serve them? He served them matzot, So the question is, why? Why did he serve them matzot? So it says the Rashi over there from the Chazal, the reason he served them matzot is because it was Pesach that night. Oh, Pesach, wait a second. But we still didn't have Yetziat Mitzrayim. Now you have Pesach? What does Lot know about Pesach? What's the whole story, right? So the answer is like this, that Lot was a yeshiva bacher at one time, So he was in the yeshiva of Avraham Avinu. And then he left the yeshiva, became a bum, became a loser, right? So that's what happened. So, but nevertheless, even though he became a bum, he rejected the religion of Avraham Avinu. He said, I don't want his God, I don't want his Torah, I don't want nothing from him. Let me just go my way and do what I have to do. This is what he said, look, Bum, he became a bum, became a, nafal, dawarda. So what happened was that he didn't want nothing, but nevertheless, even though he left Avraham Avinu, some things that he learned from the yeshiva of Avraham Avinu, he kept doing them, out of habit, why not, right? So this is what happened. So this is why he was keeping Pesach. Why? Because Avraham Avinu was keeping Pesach, also. So he learned it from him, and he said, what, I'll do it, why not? It's good, nice minhag, nice custom, yeah? But what's the reason for them to do that? They already left me. The Yetziat Mitzrayim didn't even happen yet, right? That was much later, a couple hundred years later. That whole thing. So what's going on? So the answer is like this. Chazal tell us that the time of Passover, the time of Pesach, is a very auspicious time, very kadosh time, very holy. It's very, very holy. So therefore, if a person eats chametz at that time, it's not like eating chametz the other time of the year. The other time of the year, you can eat chametz, good for you, great, we're happy, Baruch Hashem. Everything is good. But on Pesach, you know what it is, right? Chametz is Yetzer Hara. What, all year it's not Yetzer Hara, and on Pesach is Yetzer Hara? Yeah, that's what it is. Because the truth is that Chametz is all the time is Yetzer Hara. But in the rest of the year, we need a little bit Yetzer Hara. This is our life. We have a little bit Yetzer Hara. That's good, Nothing wrong with that. But on Pesach, since it's such a holy time, over there we don't want any Yetzer Hara, over there. So therefore, Kadosh Baruch Hu said to us, don't eat chametz on Pesach, because over there, if you bring the...
why chametz is the Yetzer Hara?
Why? Ooh. Well, this is the nature, Kadosh Baruch Hu barat b'riya kacha, zeh teva, So what's the story? The story is, that it rises, right? It leavens. So that's a form of degradation, for the bread. The Yetzer Hara gets in there because of the leavening. This is the nature of the world. Zeh teva shel ha'olam. You can ask a scientist about that, or maybe they'll give you an answer. I don't know. I don't think they have an answer either. You can ask them anyway. All right, so this is the way it is. So what happens is that the Yetzer Hara is in the chametz, and therefore, says the Torah, don't eat chametz on Pesach, because Pesach is so kadosh. If you eat chametz on Pesach, you're going to destroy your neshama like that. Your neshama is going to be finished. You're going to be cut off from the Jewish people. Chayav karet. Whoever eats kazait of chametz on Pesach, chayav karet. It's like you're cutting off from the Jewish people. That's how bad it is. That's how severe it is. So a person has to be very careful not to eat any chametz on Pesach. Even drinking chametz. Let's say you went into the store, right? You went to the deli, and you bought a beer. You think, oh, what's beer? Nothing. It's pure chametz over there. Beer. But what do you think? What? Beer is just a drink? It's not Coca-Cola. Beer. It's pure chametz over there. Huh? Oh. The truth is, that when you do something bishgaga, inadvertently, it's not karet, it's beshogeg. You have to bring a korban sometimes, for these kinds of things. But it's not karet. Karet is only when he does bezadon, when he does it on purpose. He knows about it, and he still does it. The truth is, all Jews, they know about this, they know that it's not allowed to have chametz on Pesach. Which Jew doesn't know, right? Every Jew knows that. Unless maybe, he was born in Russia, in Moscow, right there, Putin over there, right? So over there, that's something else. But if he's a normal Jew, he knows about chametz on Pesach. So as we said, right, but the Gaon of Vilna also adds another point, which is that he says that not only is it detrimental to one's neshama to eat chametz on Pesach, but it's also healthy for the neshama to eat matzot. So therefore, he says it's a mitzvah to eat every day matzot. Try to eat every day, So now, right, exactly. Try to have a little bit every day, Don't just say, okay, the truth is the halacha says, in Shulchan Aruch it says, that you don't have to have matzot every day, Halacha does not say that. Halacha says, the first night you have to have matzot, because of the achilat matzah, you have a mitzvah to eat matzah, and the second night also, because we're in galut over here. Second night also, same thing. But the other days, if you want, you could eat. If you don't want, don't eat. That's what it says in Shulchan Aruch. It's not an obligation. So what is the Gaon of Vilna talking about? He's not talking about its obligation. What he's saying is that it's good, it's healthy for you, good for your neshama, Try to eat every day matzot. If you can, Why not, What do you got to lose? No, you can just eat a kazait, that's good, Whatever, Don't have to become, gain weight. You don't have to do that. Right? It's not an obligation. But try to eat something every day. If you can, if you can tolerate it. Don't just say, okay, I'll have chadi, and romi, that's not good enough, right? Try to eat some matzot every day. Doesn't have to be matzah shmura, by the way. People think today, the Ashkenazim have made a lot of chumot about this in our times. All Pesach they eat matzah shmura only, but this is not the halacha. No, there's no halacha like this. You have to eat matzah shmura all Pesach. Even the Gedolei Israel, in the older generations, they didn't have matzah shmura every day. Only for the seder they had matzah shmura, and for the rest of the time they were eating normal matzot like everybody else. That's the way it was, So if you want to spend a lot of money and buy matzah shmura for all Pesach, God bless you. That's very good, but you're not obligated to do that. You can buy this regular matzot in the box, like we have over here, right, in the shul. Same thing, from the Rabbanut, right? Even the Rabbanut is good. They say, by the way, that the Rabbanut, when it comes to matzot, they're good, so you can trust them. So therefore, those boxes that come from Israel, we have no problem with that because they do everything really, really black kosher over there. It's not like the regular time of year. Okay, whatever. I don't want to get into this now, but anyway, it's healthy to eat matzot on that time because this is the Yetzer Hara Tov, and very detrimental, very harmful to eat on Pesach matzah. I'm sorry, chametz, because chametz is just the opposite, right? So I mentioned yesterday, that when it comes to the goyim, if you look at the Notzrim, what they do, just the opposite. At that time of year, instead of eating matzot, what they do is they eat bread. Did you ever hear about that? They have a special minhag like this, At that time of year, in the spring, when we're eating matzot, their religion tells them to eat lo aleinu, right? Bread, sweet bread. They have all kinds of things like this. Why they do that? Just the opposite of what we do, Why don't we mind that? So what's the reason why? You know why? Because they want to get in touch with the Yetzer Hara. That's the whole thing. That's their power. Their power comes from the Yetzer Hara. Like Putin, That's where it comes from. It's not from the Yetzer Hara, right? These kinds of people. So Yetzer Hara, so they do just the opposite, to attach themselves to the Yetzer Hara. That's what they do. This is their portion. This is their lot, This is their chelik in this world, to go to the Sitracha. They're connected with the Sitracha. We're connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's something else, right? It's a different thing altogether, different system. For each one. To each his own, right? As I said. So this is the reason why we eat. Really, the truth is, we don't eat chametz on Pesach. So very important, Don't take it lightly. Be careful about it. Be very careful. Okay, very good. We understand that. So now let's talk a little bit about the mitzvah, right? The first mitzvah that we encounter before Pesach, is the Bedikat Chametz, right? We check the chametz. So over there, we mentioned yesterday that the way it's done is like this, right? The night before Passover. So let's say Passover, right, falls on Wednesday night, right? Just an example. So you got to do it Tuesday night, the night before, right? You do Bedikat Chametz. It has to be done at night. So first you go, you daven Arvit, and then you go and you start to do Bedikat right away. Don't wait, don't have a big seudana, eat a lot of food, and fancy foods. This is not the time for that now. Have a little snack, a little something if you're hungry, and go and do the first mitzvah Bedikat, and then eat your meal. You know what I mean? Because once you sit down to eat your meal, you're going to get tired, you're going to get sleepy, and all of a sudden, he wakes up, where am I? Oh, it's already in the morning. Chazak Baruch, right? You slept through the whole night. You didn't do Bedikat Chametz. What kind of thing is that, right? By the way, B'diavad, what happens if a person didn't do Bedikat Chametz at night? What does he have to do? Let's say he fell asleep, right? Whatever. Something like happened. So he's got to do it in the morning. Yeah, got to do it in the morning. So what happens? You got to, even though it's a sunlight, you still, right, got to take a candle and go to the house, go through the house and do Bedikat. The truth is, you should do without bracha, because it's not the right time, Yeah, so if I remember correctly, this is the halacha. You do without bracha, but you got to do it anyway, right? It may be with bracha. I have to check that. I have to check. I don't remember. I don't recall right now. It may be with bracha, because after all, you're doing the mitzvah anyway, right? Whatever it is, So it may be with bracha. I'll check that out. I'll let you know. So I want to make sure we don't make a mistake. So anyway, as we said, right, that person starts at night, and first he makes the bracha, right? What's the bracha he makes? Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al biur chametz, right? So why does it say al biur chametz? Biur means to destroy the chametz. But we just said, right, the mitzvah is to do bedikah, to check the chametz. So why we say al biur chametz? Because the point of bedikah is to do biur, right? The whole end game, right? The whole tachlit, right? Tachlis, is to do biur. So this is the reason why we say al biur chametz, not al bedikat chametz. We don't bless like that. That's not the blessing. Right? So what you do is like this, right? You got to check every room. You got to check every place where chametz can go in there. So it depends on your situation, right? If you have small kids, it can be in any room, right? Because the kids take it anywhere. You know what I mean? They can take it over here. They can take it over there. But if you're a grown up, there's no kids over there, so they're gonna have chametz in the bathroom, right? I don't think so, right? So you have to understand what you're doing, right? There's not gonna be chametz over there in the bathroom. Right? Unless you think the soap is chametz. I don't think so, right? Don't go crazy. Don't go too crazy, right? Al tiyeh tzadik arbeh. Don't look for chametz in the soap. You're not going to find any chametz over there. So, or in the shampoo, right? Don't look for chametz over there. A lot of people make money off this. They say, has to be kosher at Pesach, the shampoo, the soap. This is all nonsense. It's all fables, you know. It's cascading. You know, that's what it is, right? So don't go crazy for these kinds of things. Worry about the food. Don't worry about the soap. Don't worry about the detergent. Don't worry about the shampoo, right? These kinds of things. What about toothpaste, by the way? You know, it's also another thing, right? Toothpaste. The truth is that, you know, some say that you should have hechsher on the toothpaste. It's kosher al Pesach. So, does it really need hechsher? No, it doesn't need. I'll tell you why. Because most toothpaste don't have chametz. You know what I mean? Like 99.99999%, you know, they don't have chametz. You know, so it's going to be very hard for you to find chametz in toothpaste. You're not going to find it. Number one. Number two, also, even if there is, you know, even though the percentage is very low, you're not eating it to swallow it, you know, that's not your intention, right? To swallow it, to chalapos, you know. That's not the idea. What you want to do is just to clean your mouth. So there's no issue, you know, the truth is, you know, according to halakha, you don't need a hechsher, you don't on toothpaste for Passover. They say, by the way, you know, just I remember from the old days that all Colgate, you know, doesn't have chametz, you know, whatever. But the truth is, you know, that it's more of a problem for Ashkenazim. Why? Because Ashkenazim don't eat kitniot. So the problem is, you know, that there are some toothpaste that have kitniot, like corn, you know, things like this, corn syrup, all kinds of things, you know. But we don't care about that. For us, nothing. You know, we don't care about corn syrup. This is the reason, by the way, also, if you want to know, right? Let me save you some money and time. You know, don't waste your time with this. When it comes to the Ashkenazim, you know, they buy the drinks, you know, soda, you know, only with hechsher, right? Special for Pesach. We Sephardim, we don't need that. You know, what's the reason why? Because the problem with those drinks is the corn syrup in there, you know, so that's kitniot, right? So the Ashkenazim don't need kitniot. That's why they have to buy with hechsher. So what do they do? For Pesach, they make it with sugar, you know? No corn syrup. That's what they do, right? In Israel, by the way, they always make it with sugar over there. They don't use corn syrup in Israel. You know, in all those drinks. So Baruch Hashem, it's better over there.
So also
Everything is better over there.
So you can drink Coca-Cola without...
Of course, you don't need a hechsher Coca-Cola. Not during the weekdays and not during Pesach. Never you need to call hechsher Coca-Cola. Nothing is bad there. Everything is good.
So why are they making Coca-Cola for kosher for Pesach?
It's just going to ruin your teeth. That's the problem, right? Your teeth is going to do damage. But besides that, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Why are they making kosher for Pesach?
For Ashkenazim, you know, because they don't need corn syrup. This is the problem, right? That's what I'm telling you. So this is why they need a hechsher. The Ashkenazim need a hechsher, but we don't need that. We have no problems with corn syrup. So therefore, you can buy whatever you drink, you know, during the year, except beer, as we said, right? Beer has chametz. Beer has chametz gamur. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about soft drinks, you know, Coca-Cola, Sprite, you know, all this stuff, you know. There's no chametz in this. You know, ginger ale, no chametz over there. Nothing. Just, you know, maybe some corn syrup, you know, which is kitniot. No problem for us. We don't need that. So don't waste your time, you know, with that. And also, they'll charge you more. They'll charge you double the price, you know. Price gouging, you know, making money. It's a business. You know, it's nice. Nice business for a lot of people, you know, to do these kinds of things. So, you know, you can just buy your regular drinks that you like and enjoy it, and there's no reason. But Ashkenazim, they have to be careful about it. Because they cannot eat corn syrup. This is the problem, you know. So they have to get with hechsher. It's okay, you know, whatever. There's also another ingredient, by the way, when it comes to drinks, which is called citric acid, you know. So in the old days, citric acid was a question, you know. Why? Because it was made from chametz one time, in the old days. You know, they used to make it from wheat and things like this, you know. But the truth is that Maran Rabbi, he already wrote a tshuva about this a long time ago, when, you know, like 50 years ago, whatever, when they were using from chametz, citric acid. Why do they use citric acid, by the way, in the drinks? You know why? To give it like tartness, you know? It shouldn't be too sweet, you know? A little tartness, you know? Because otherwise it's too much, you know? It tastes like a candy bar, you know? Too sweet. So they give it like a tartness, they use citric acid to give it that tart taste. That's what it is, right? So the truth is that today it's even better. Why? Because the citric acid they use today is not made from wheat anymore. They make it right? It's artificial, right? It's synthetic, you know? So therefore today citric acid is not a problem. So this is the reason why you don't need really hechsher, you know, for Sephardim. You don't need a hechsher on Coca-Cola and Sprite, all these kinds of things. Whether it has citric acid or whether it has corn syrup, we don't care about that. We don't care. Okay, very good. So let's get back to the Bedikat, right? We have to talk about that. That's our main discussion over here. So as we said, right, you make the bracha. So now the thing is like this, right? That the Chazal say, by the way, you know, the poskim, don't make Bedikat into a joke, you know, some kind of a joke. What does that mean? Like symbolic, you know, like you know, just Yeah, I'll go around here, I'll go here, I'll go here. Yeah, okay, gamano, yalla. Don't make it like a joke like that. You have to be serious about it. What does that mean? Check every place, Check upstairs, downstairs, the floor, here, the cabinets, the fridge. Make sure you check everything, Don't make a joke. It's not a joke, right? Bedikat Chametz. And the reason why you have to do it is because the truth is, according to the Torah, you don't need to do Bedikat Chametz. This is the rabbis made this. According to Torah, you don't need it. Why you don't need it? Because according to Torah, it's good just if you just do bitul, bitul. You're mevater. You say, harazeh ke'afar arar, right? It's like dust of the earth, right? And then mevater is it. It's bitul. So that from the Torah, that's enough. You don't really have to do bedikat chametz. You don't have to do biur either, according to Torah. So why the rabbis told us to do bedikah and biur to destroy the chametz? Because they said maybe there's going to be something over there, that he likes it, and he did bitul, but in his heart he really wants that thing, So he's not doing it with a full heart. This is the reason why they said that, So therefore they said, what? Like for instance, what? I'll give you an example, right? Let's say for instance he has a nice, they call this in the Torah, they call it in Talmud, gluska. What's gluska? Nice big challah, it's beautiful, So he doesn't want to get rid of that, he wants to eat it, chamon, It's so beautiful. So when he does bitul, he doesn't really mean it, he wants to eat that thing. Okay, so that's why we say, right, that don't just rely on bitul. You have to do bedikah and biur. The rabbis made this takana in order to solve this problem. So therefore we have to do that as well. But now here's the thing, right, that when a person does bedikah, so the truth is, as we said, right, that he has to do also bitul. Why? Because when you do bitul from the Torah, you have no problem anymore. Now the rabbis also told you to do bedikah and biur. So this is the additional thing, right, that we do. It's a safeguard to guard ourselves. This is the thing, So make sure you check it good, because otherwise, if you're not checking it good, what's the purpose, right? What's the point? I told yesterday the Keilah over here. I told them, that one time when I was in yeshiva Bacher, I was at my mother's house, living over there. So I went into the closet, opened up the closet, and there was a big pot over there, So I was looking over there. What is this? What's inside this pot? It looks a little bit suspicious, So what do I find? Big pot of kishmishiani, chametz gamur, right? That's what I found, So here's the thing, right? Kishmishiani, if you know, right, it's a Georgian pastry, whatever. So if you guys don't know, so it lasts a long time. You can keep it like for 2 months, it doesn't spoil. I don't know exactly why that is. It's like matzot, that lasts for a long time. Whatever. So my mother had it over there, so I told her, I said, you got to get rid of this. I'm sorry, or eat it or throw it away or do something with it, right? So the truth is that Soso Bidzia, he asked me yesterday, can you sell it? The truth is you can sell it also, if you have something like that. You want to sell it? No problem, Just make sure you put it away in a safe place. People shouldn't be, touching it, Put it away, mark it, whatever, so people don't touch that thing. Put chametz on that. Put a sign. You want to sell it, you're kishmishiani, you're chachapuri, whatever, right? No problem, Chachapuri is not going to last unless you freeze it. Whatever, right? Whatever you want to do, right? You want to sell it? No problem. Just make sure you do the sale good, right? You go with the rabbis, do the sale, and you can sell your chametz. And then after Pesach goes out, you wait like 2 hours after Pesach goes out, and you can have the chametz. Once they sell it back, they buy it back from the goy. So you can do that. But if you're not planning to sell it, right? Let's say you don't want to sell it, whatever. So then you got to get rid of it. You got to do biur. You got to get rid of everything. That's the thing, right? That's what the rabbis told us. Yeah.
Question. If you sell a chametz to a goy,
Yeah.
and this goy that you sell him, let's say in the Pesach he died, how you buy the chametz back?
Oh, oh my God! Oh, that's a good question. Well, let me tell you something interesting. That the Torah says, the Talmud, that there is Yerusha also with Goy. What does that mean? That if he dies, his son inherits him. So you go to his son, and you take it from him. Just an example, right? That's like we have also Yerusha. Your son gets your property. Goy also has Yerusha. Yeah. Their Yerusha is a little bit different, but basically what happens is the son inherits, right, to the father's wealth, right? So Putin doesn't have a son, so I wonder who's going to get all his money, right? He's the richest guy in the world, right? Whatever. So he doesn't have a son. Okay, whatever. But anyway, we'll see who gets that money in the end. Maybe Zelensky will take it. I don't know who's going to. Okay. So anyway, right, as we said, that this is the way it has to be done. So let me just tell you, right, important thing. then you have to check your house, all the rooms, as we said, right? There could be chametz in there. Also, you got to check, the car. Right? Don't think your car is like, oh, car, I don't have to check that. Why not? What makes you think you don't have to check your car? There could be a lot of chametz in there, So check all the floor there, everything. Check the glove box. Check the trunk, right? The trunk, there could be something there. You never know. You can check it out. Make sure you check your car. So how do you check your car? So you do it like you check your house, if it's right next to your house, you don't need another bracha. The bracha you made for your house also goes on your car as well. So you just go outside, you do your car, you can't do a candle over there because the wind will push it out. So use a flashlight, take a small flashlight, skinny one, and you do it with a flashlight. That's what you do, right? They asked me yesterday, by the way, are we allowed to use a flashlight for Bedikat Chametz? So the truth is, Chazal made the takana with candles. So better to use candles. But says the Chazon Ish, b'diavad, if he doesn't have candles, he can use a flashlight. But something skinny, just get in there, do the work good. Not something too big, right? You need a spotlight. That's the thing, right? So you can use a flashlight, but candle is better. We also discussed yesterday, right, that we said that you got to use a candle with one wick, right? Not like a Havdalah candle with many wicks. That's already called a torch, right? That's called the torch. So you got to use a Havdalah candle. Don't use a Havdalah. You use a regular candle with one wick. Also, by the way, I want to tell you, you got to check your office, your business. Many people here have businesses, they have stores, they have offices, they have factories, God knows, whatever it is, right? Whatever you got to check it over there. This is your property. You rent it or you own it, right? So you got to check that place. If you can't do it, appoint somebody to do it, right? Ask a worker, Do me a favor, give him a little money, $50, whatever. Do me a favor, check my office. He's a religious guy, right? Has to be religious, not some goy or whatever or something. I'm not talking about that. So make sure you also check your office. You got to check all these areas. Everything has to be checked, right? All your property, wherever it is. Doesn't matter, by the way, whether it's in America or it's in Israel. Also, if you have something in Israel, you got to check over there too. So what do? Make a shliach, right? For somebody, ask him to do it for you. If you have some property over there, right? But we have to start our meet. He's right. We're getting late, but I just want to tell you one thing, right? That if you have property and it's rented by somebody else is living there, you don't have to check that place. It always goes. The obligation of checking goes on the person who's living there. So if you have, let's say, an apartment and you rent it out to people, you don't have to check there. That's his obligation. Whoever lives there. But if nobody lives there, it's empty. So then you've got to check it. This is the rule, right? Always the person who's occupying that place has to check it. If nobody's occupying, it's yours. You got to check it. That's the way it is, right?
But even if you're not going to use it, you have to check
Yeah, since it's yours, to 20 property, 20, you have to check it, right? That's the idea. You have to check every place that you own or you rent, right? Or you occupy there. That's the way it is. ברוך ה' לעולם, אמן ואמן. וידיך נריה בנקה שאומץ הקדוש ברוך הוא זאת ישראל, וידיך תראו בעולם תורה מצוו, שלא מחפש, למען צדקו יגדיל תורה וידיל.